It is a certain limit there.
When I tasted the wine, this peppery flavor, this peppery taste seems for me very interesting, and I had a talk. Guillaume told me, Jean, if you want, I'm going at Olivier Lemasson place during the harvest, and I can bring back grapes. And he came back with, if I remember, the first experiment was in 2009, 50 kilos Pinot d'Aunis, and 50 kilo, it was not foreseen, Menu Pineau. And the result with Pinot d'Aunis was beautiful, so spicy, peppery. That's why we reproduced it for the Zwanze 2011. The first Zwanze day was made with the Pinot d'Aunis from Olivier Lemasson. Menu Pineau was a deception because the beer was very nice but unfruity, no fruit taste. I remember we bought it 250 bottles. I put it on the side in the cellar, and there it was really very curious because the flavor, the grape flavor start to develop some years later. So the Menu Pineau took 3 or 4 years to really develop a beautiful wine grapes flavor. And that's why for the first time this year we will do it again, the Menu Pineau.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
So the first wine beer would have been the Vignerrone, and then was
Yes, but not with wine grapes.
What?
The first in the 70s we lived in Overijs, and in Overijs you have people there cultivate grapes under glasses. And the breweries from this area used grapes to be blended with Lambic. And my father always said he remembered a big publicity in a bar, Druivenlambik, so grapes Lambic. And that's why in '73 he made the first experiment with grapes. Grapes coming from Overijs, from the area.
from Belgium.
Yeah, from Belgium. It was in '73, I think. '73 with the first. So we restart the framboise production in '73 as well. We restart because we had at the beginning of the brewery in 1908 or '09 in the stock of the season. You can read that Cantillon have more raspberry in stock than cherry. But raspberry Lambic disappears after the War I. And so '73, I think it's the year when my father restart the framboise and is making an experiment with grapes. But the ancestor of Vignerrone is the Cuvée Neuf Nations. So it was Lambic, Muscat, made for an association, les Neuf Nations, so nine nations, and 9 nations represent all the shops around the Grand Place. I don't know if this association still exists, probably. And it was in 87, Cuvée Neuf Nations. And so from late 80s, early 90s, we started regularly the production of Vignerrone. But not with grapes coming from
France.
France and wine world. So the start with Merlot is in 92 or 3 with grapes from Château Bellay in Saint-Émilion.
And Saint-Émilion, Lamvinus would have been how long ago?
92 or 93. So the two first Saint Lamvinus were produced in Bordeaux. So we didn't receive the grapes here in the brewery. We sent Lambic.
Oh.
in
Bordeaux.
Bordeaux.
To Bordeaux.
And blended there, mixed it there, and bottled in Bordeaux by I don't remember the name of the guy. Crémant. So in Bordeaux they also produce a sparkling white wine called Crémant de Bordeaux, and the beer. And the first one, the bottles came back here. The second experiment in Bordeaux, it's a very strange and funny story. The second experiment was made with must, no grapes, must. And the result was not so nice. And since this time, I made new experiment with must, and I know that if you are working with must, you have to wait sometimes before to have a nice return, nice fruitiness in the beer. But for my father and his friends, it was also an experiment. And so, because the beer was nice but unfruity, they let all the bottles, 400 or 500 bottles, in Bordeaux. The Crémant producers put all those bottles in his cellar. He has beautiful cellar, deep one. And a friend of us, also producing natural wine in Bordeaux, was there some months ago, and he came back here. He told me, Jean, do you know that this guy has 500 Cantillon bottles in his cellar? So, which bottle are you speaking? Did the experiment, and I phoned to my father. My father, oh yeah, I forgot those bottles. So, so 23, 24 years old.
Wow.
And
did you taste it?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
It's nice, very nice. So the goal is probably to bring back some models here for the next quintessence.
Ah.
Yeah.
Nice. And what was it? The year you did the first open brew day. When did that start? Must have been 90s, right?
I think it was in the 80s. Huh. I think it was in the 80s, but when exactly, I don't know.
Was that once a year?
I will say early 80s. Yeah.
And was that once a year to start, or was it twice a year already?
First once a year, then twice a year. We made it for 1 or 2 seasons, 3 times a year. We opened it the third time for a group association and so on. But but mainly 2. But at the beginning it was 1. But with the success, because at the beginning we worked with the oil boiler, and we took more time to brew. We started at 6. Not at 7. No, we are starting at 7 a.m. We started at 6. So we were here in the brewery at 5 a.m. It was a very, very, very long day. Yeah.
That sounds way too early.
That's, it's off. At 6 it's easier for some people, but we had at 6, I remember, 10, 20 people coming in after parties. To finish the night with a goose. Yeah, it was common. It was really common. It was, but I will say first brew day 83 or 84.
And now it's gotten so popular that you may have to. I think you're saying go
for the first time we will do it on booking.
Yeah. That's
because it's difficult to manage. Dangerous, because when you have too much people, the machine are working, so are turning. It's too dangerous.
Yeah.
So we have to manage it on a different way. We will do it for the brew of November. We have always less people in March. So we will see how it works, because naturally a lot of people are coming here for every public brew, and we know that we will receive here some people without booking. So we will see when mentalities have to change, and you can change it
overnight.
Yeah, that's. We will see, but we have to do it, because the two or the three last edition in November, every time more than 1,000 people, it's too much.
So you were saying, I think yesterday, that there's a plan that once De La Seine opens near Touring Taxis, between that and the brewery here and the bomb shelter, that.
Excuse me.
So you're saying there's a kind of a plan, not in the works yet, but sort of planning stages of having possibly the bomb shelter open where you can visit it once De La Seine has completed their brewery near Touring Taxis, which probably take another year.
To organize a big tour, not me, so
the city.
A big Brussels brewers collaboration to organize tours in the city, and to open all the beer location in the city, and all the beer location means also the bomb shelter. Yeah. But you visit it, it's small, so there it will be. I think if we are doing it, it will be also probably
appointment.
a huge success. So also maybe difficult to manage, but no one is going there. I think we opened the place 6 years ago, 2012. I think about 30 persons visited the 30, maybe 40, include the Cantillon team and the Cantillon family. Maybe 40 people maximum visited the spot. So no, I know it's a bit a myth today. It's but that's why we have to open it to people as well. And if we organize such an event in the city, and I think we have to,
is that
because we are in Brussels, capital of Belgium, beer country, because we are friends. We have very, very good connection in between us, because we are producing for the majority of the Brussels breweries. We are producing, in my opinion, very good beers. So it's something to organize for sure.
Is that something that would be like maybe once a year or more frequently than that, or that's still kind of in discussion?
First of all, let us organize it, and then we'll see.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha. So, I mean, obviously Cantillon's had a huge effect on the brewing scene around the world now, with the rise of spontaneous fermentation in the U.S. and other places, and fruity beers. When did you first see that happening? How have you been influenced by the beers from other countries like the U.S. from years ago, let's say? And how do you think that your influence sort of started? Like, people started to come here from other breweries around the world and get the ideas for these beers and go home and start working on this sort of things themselves. Sort of a very profound influence. Can you speak to that, what your opinion is on sort of how that happened?
In my opinion, I was always ready to give a hand to the people who want to restart a traditional spontaneous fermentation, because we need it. Some years ago, the spontaneous fermentation beer out of Lambic was totally absent of the market. And I think that who more people will find great spontaneous fermentation beer on the market, who better it will be for traditional Lambic producers traditional producers. And that's why when Jason and Rob from Allagash, when Vinny, when Leonardo from Del Borgo, no part of InBev, unfortunately, when Francis Joncas from Pit Caribou asked information, asked to come here to follow me during brew, during blend, I always accepted, always, because all those people are serious, honest, producing great beers, very good beers, and I think we need to found a group to protect this type of beer, and who more we will be in this group, who stronger we will be, and that's also why yesterday Jeff from Just Drinking was here. It's a friend. I have very good connections with Jeff. So, and with all those people producing a real spontaneous fermentation beer, yeah. If they need some, I know that Cantillon was the inspiration, one of the inspiration. But even today, if they need more information, that's not a problem for me. You know, we don't have to fear. Some of my colleagues, I know, have some worries about all those new spontaneous fermentation beer, but no, not me. It's if you are proud of your product, if you are producing your beer in the right way, like I do, or I think I'm doing it, we have no